The only reason I joined the RCMP is because I love dogs and I wanted to be a dog handler.
Everybody's there because they want to be there, and the dogs that they're with are high-drive dogs that certainly want to be there and certainly want to perform. It's just a recipe for success all the way around.
Our expectations are that you will do your best and you'll do it consistently. Because when you get called out to go find that kid who's lost in the national park, you can't quit. You have to keep going.
All for the love of the guy, eh? It's all about bond, eh? You guys have a good bond with the dogs will really work hard for them, eh? That's all they want to do is just please.
When Canada's Royal Canadian Mounted Police Force wants to find lost people, catch criminals, and uncover explosives, they call on an elite squad of Mounties. Highly trained assets with agile bodies, powerful jaws, and incredibly sharp noses. The training and selection process are rigorous and demanding. And those who ultimately make the cut never look back, because there's no assignment too tough for the K9 Mounties. The Mountie in his dress uniform is one of Canada's most distinctive and iconic images. It's a living link to the past, when the Northwest Mounted Police patrolled the West on horseback and the North on dog sled. Those dogs were more than transportation. Their instincts and their loyalty made them a valuable part of law enforcement. Even in this technological age, there's still no substitute for the sensitive nose and determination of a dog. It's almost impossible to overestimate the role that the K9 police dogs play in the RCMP. From finding missing people to sniffing out drugs and explosives. The dog's special talents and their natural desire to bond with human beings makes them invaluable. There are about 140 general duty teams in the K9 unit. Each dog is a product of selective breeding and careful training. The K9 unit is a very specialized one. Every year, only 12 constables are chosen to take the course. And to get there, they've gone through a selection process that takes 5 or 6 years. They come here to the RCMP's training facility at Innisfil, Alberta, a town that's just south of Red Deer.
When I got into the RCMP, I knew that the police dog service was the section that I wanted to get into. And I was willing to do and work towards that career regardless of how long it would be, whether it be 5 years, 10 years. I was willing to put that time in.
Officers like Dan Block, who want to be part of the K9 unit, start by training a series of pups in their home division, putting them through an RCMP program called imprinting.
This course involves basic understanding of how to take care of a dog, but take care of the dog in a different way from a family pet. The dog that we're going to give them, we want them to raise that dog to become a police dog. There's some subtle differences that we ask for that they undertake with this dog to ensure that he receives and develops the behaviors that we're looking for in a police dog.
The imprinting program is designed to help the dogs build their focus and their confidence by exposing them to as many situations as possible.
The dog also is required to do a lot of things that a family pet doesn't do. So once you get that dog that we give you, a person that's interested in the section, you have to spend a lot of time taking the dog to places that police dogs might have to go. Easy example is an airport dog. A lot of family dogs will never go walk around an airport, where a police dog is trained for explosives especially, will go there on a regular basis, up and down escalators, around lots of people, screaming jets in the background and all that kind of thing. So we ask them to expose these dogs to those type of environments.
At any given time, about 100 constables across the country are working in their home division doing the imprinting training. They'll do this for 5 or 6 years before they're even considered for K9 unit. Out of the 100 constables, only up to 12 a year are chosen to move up to become dog handlers.
It's a long road for a puppy imprinter to become a dog handler, and it's a very committed goal for them. Because often what happens is that the puppy imprinters, for example, they might have to raise 6 puppies by the time they're even eligible to become a dog handler.
We're looking for guys that can work on their own, that are problem solvers, and that are able to handle high pressure situations, they're top performers. If they're suitable, then they get selected to come on a course.
How many of you here are married? Well, your life has changed because, right, you've got the dog in the environment right now. You've had the dog in the environment for what, 2, 3, 4 years? So that has a significant impact on what's going on in your family. It has a significant impact on where you're going on vacation. But you work your life around the dog, right? Whether that's right or wrong, that's what you do. But without this, just generally as human beings, we're not going to do well.
I think the part that's not well known is that when you're not working with your dog and you're not on shift, in many areas across the country, you're actually on call because you're the only dog handler for large pieces of geography across the country. And a lot of units depend on you. So you're on call. And when that's not happening, that dog and that vehicle are living with your family. So it's not just about a professional commitment, it's also a family commitment to police dog services.
Okay, so one.
Out of the hundreds who apply, only 12 constables are selected each year to take the training course that will make them dog handlers. Now, they'll find whether they can fulfill their dream, whether they have the right stuff to master the 85-day, 3-level intensive course. Since the RCMP's K9 program was established in 1935, the preferred breed has been the German Shepherd. They're natural hunters, and they're smart, loyal, even-tempered, and courageous. They're physically perfect for the challenges of the job in a country where the temperatures range from hot and humid in the summer to brutally cold in the winter. And they're powerful, with significant bite power, making them perfect for catching the bad guys. But not just any German Shepherd makes a good police dog. So in 1999, the RCMP set up a breeding program, using a combination of hand-raising and science to create the perfect K9 Mountie.
From all the dogs that could have become a police dog, probably 1 in 3 of the pups that we breed will become a police dog. And that's just because of the package that we're looking for in a police dog. To be able to do the tracking, to do the searching, to do the criminal apprehension, to have the confidence to back up the dog handler, and be civil enough to walk into a classroom if the dog handler's going in to do a school talk. You know, that dog's just got to have solid nerves and be a confident dog.
A police dog will serve an average of 7 years before being retired. And so every year, the RCMP needs about 35 replacement dogs, trained and ready to go. Special dogs require special breeding, and for that, the RCMP turns to its friendly Alberta neighbors. There's a community of brood keepers not far from the Innisfil kennels. These dog-loving foster families take on the responsibility of looking after the female dogs until they come into heat, like Sue and John Charles.
Our job is basically to give them exercise, and they give us exercise too, and love and care, and watch them very carefully for any illnesses or irregularities that they might have.
We've learned to know when they're ready to breed, and then we let the RCMP know right away.
When the female comes into heat, we bring the dog in here and we do some daily blood tests on that dog. And when she's ready to be bred, we go through our selection process of which male we're going to mate her to.
Now the science part of the equation takes over. The vets match the female with the male to give the pups the right genetic mix. But there's no romantic candlelight dinner meeting for the male and female. The RCMP has a frozen sperm bank.
When we got involved in the program a number of years ago, we're wondering what's the best way to move a breeding program forward. And I think all the other species have documented that when we get involved with frozen semen, we can make huge strides genetic-wise. We have the semen here that if we find that now we have some extremely good genetics, we have access to it. Whereas in using the natural way, that dog may no longer be fertile. And so we've lost all that genetics, you see what I'm saying? And certainly it allows us to pick and choose which dogs we want to use. A fascinating thing is that obviously with the RCMP, all their dogs are spread across Canada. So if we had one dog that we wanted to use today on a female that's here, rather than bringing the dog back each time and you know, not being able to work and so on, by having the frozen genetics here, we get to use it.
That's okay. What we'd like to do is do ultrasounds around day
28 to 30. That allows us to see whether the dog is pregnant, as well as to get a bit of an idea in terms of the size of the litter. My first impression here is that we do have some puppies. There's a puppy there, a puppy there. We can see at least 5 puppies on this one. We know that they all have good heartbeats, and so I think everything looks great. We'll document in the file that we have, at this point in time, we have at least 5 puppies. We'll then monitor that in terms of when we do an x-ray then at just before whelping to confirm that we have maintained that pregnancy. Oh yes, you're very good. You're very good.
Once the pregnancy is confirmed, the dog goes back to her foster parents, who will care for her until the last 20 days before whelping.
Good girl. Good girl. Stay.
From the moment they're born, the puppies are under the watchful eye of the vet services. Before they're 2 weeks old, they're already being groomed and prepared for the K9 unit.
Starting at day 10, we'll start the early neurological stimulation, and then we will put them on their back. We'll put them upside down a bit, and then we'll also put them upward, and then that will, and we do that for 5-second count. Then we also do stimulation in between the toes to get them used to us handling their feet. And then we will also start a body massage at day 10. At 2 weeks old, we start taking them out of the whelping box, and we will put them on the floor with articles on the floor to see how they interact. There's several different surfaces that we give them. And there's socks, there's rag toys, there's balls, and there's different scented gloves. And we want to see how they interact and how inquisitive they are at that point.
At the end of each day, the kennel staff keeps a careful record of the progress of each of the pups. If they see any problems, they'll work on that the next day. At every stage, the dogs are exposed to more new stimuli, so that the staff can see which of the pups has the right personality to be a police dog.
Blow up a paper bag and you pow and make as loud a noise as you can with the paper bag, and you see how the dog reacts. That's the first one of the tests. So if the dog runs over to the corner and pees, chances are it's not going to make a great police dog, but it's just one of the eight or nine different tests that we do. So then after the bag is broken, if the dog comes